So my name's Scott Arthur and I'm a councillor for Collington, Knoxgangs and Fairmill Head, and right now I'm walking up to the City Chambers. You can just see the castle behind me there. And today's an important day in the City Chambers because we set the budget for the coming year, and I just wanted to talk about one element of that quite quickly. Probably the most frequently raised issue in recent weeks, well since the turn of the year really, has been the state of our roads and footpaths in my ward and of course right across the city, and indeed I know of two women who recently fell in my ward and sustained injuries as a result of that, so completely unacceptable. Now of course after the last administration was formed and after the 2022 elections, one of the things we did was we asked officers how much funding we needed to maintain the roads even just in their current state, and they said that there was a shortfall of about £8 million per year. So what we did last year in the budget is we injected a one-off additional investment of £11 million, and that's resulted in around 500,000 square metres of roads and footpaths being resurfaced. So good, but overall the state of our roads and footpaths still aren't good enough. So this year we're coming to that question again. And so what my group is proposing, the Labour group, is we propose that we keep that £11 million in the budget. It was supposed to be one off, and we add £1.5 million to that. So I think, and that should see us get, another 500,000 square metres or so of roads and footpaths resurfaced. So very welcome. And as well as that proactive resurfacing work, I do think perhaps we have to invest a little bit more in the reactive work the council does, filling potholes. But that will be something that will be discussed in the Transport and Environment Committee meeting. So what are other groups offering? Well, I just want to touch on two in particular. I'll touch on all of them actually. The Tories and the Lib Dems are broadly in line with what we're suggesting should be in the budget. The Greens are suggesting we go back to where we were before the 11 million was added, so that would reduce the budget from 22 million where it is right now down to around 11 million pounds. And the SNP are suggesting we do the same, but we take an additional 1.2 million out of the budget, so that will take it down to about 10 million, and invest that in road safety measures. Now, I started off by talking about those two women who'd been injured in my ward. So it's a reminder that the most basic level of road and footpath safety is filling those potholes and making sure our footpaths are safe to walk on. So personally I think it's a little bit misleading to say that you're cutting what would be, let me get this right, about £12.5 million out of road and footpath budgets, putting 1.2 million of that back in and calling it a road safety improvement. One to think about though. So hopefully we'll get the end of the day with people agreeing with the Labour position of adding that 12.5 million. So 12.5 million above what it was a couple of years ago. It's actually only 1.5 million in addition until last year. And hopefully we'll start to see us make some progress with roads and footpaths in the city and help get our city back on track, because some of what you see when you go around is just completely unacceptable. Okay, and of course with the castle behind me there, I also have to remind us all that Edinburgh is Scotland's worst funded local authority. Despite it being the capital city and despite it attracting tourists and visitors from all over the world, it is the worst funded local authority. Absolutely shameful. A reminder that Scotland needs change. Bye for now.